Hi, I'm Brandon,
And I'm Mom.
and welcome back to Tansson Talks TV.
Yes, thank you for joining us again today.
Yeah, we always enjoy doing this, and Mom, how are you doing today?
Brandon, I am doing fine. It's bright and sunny outside. It's a good day.
Well, that is great to hear, and Mom, what show are we speaking about here today?
Laverne and Shirley.
Yes, Laverne and Shirley is a television sitcom that aired from 1976 to 1983 and was a spin-off of the long-running series Happy Days. It was produced by Henderson Productions, Miller Milkus Productions, and Paramount Television.
Sounds great, Brandon. And today we're talking about that kind of like before our premiere episode, but we're not just talking about one episode today, Brandon. We're going to talk about the premiere and the second episode.
Yes, we're very excited to be speaking about both these episodes, and we are starting off with the premiere episode titled "The Society Party," and then we're going to head into the next episode, "The Bachelor Party."
All right. For the first episode, just to give a little synopsis, Ed Schultz is a relative of the owner of the Schatz Brewery where the girls work, invites Laverne and Shirley to his family's home for a dinner party. Um, the girls don't have anything to wear this particular dinner party, and so they go to their good friends Lenny and Squiggy and ask them about finding them a dress. Well, Lenny and Squiggy rent them dresses. They find dresses, and he said they both say that they're going to rent the dresses, and so of course they pay to rent these dresses. Um, and so while they're there, the Schatz family, they think that the dresses are stolen, basically stolen from their place, and so which kind of leads to some kind of fun in there. The girls are also at a party where with people they're not used to being around, and so that leads to some laughter too. Um, Fonzie arrives, and Fonzie is at this point in time Laverne's boyfriend, and he is actually one of the stars from Happy Days. And so while he's there, he kind of makes he Fonzie stands out. So he arrives and he just kind of, I don't want to say makes the scene because he doesn't, but he is just the scene at the particular episode. But anyway, um, when he arrives, there's some issue about the dress. Fonzie asks where they got the dress. They said they rented the dress, and and so he kind of smooths things over for the girls with this particular family. But at the end, the girls realize they kind of don't like the idea that they think that they stole these dresses, which they didn't, and so they kind of leave the party without the dresses, meaning they kind of walk out with their slips and kind of go home. And so that's basically the episode in a nutshell for the first episode. Now, for the second episode, um, we find out that Laverne does have a death in the family, and so her father needs to attend this particular funeral. Um, we were aware from the first episode they briefly kind of talked about how Laverne's father owns the pizzeria, and which is a bowling alley too. And so Laverne is in charge of the restaurant slash bowling alley while her father is at this funeral. Fonzie does make another appearance in this particular episode, and Fonzie asks for Laverne to help, and sponsor is not the right word, but to help give this bachelor party at this particular restaurant. And so Laverne decides to go ahead and do it. However, she doesn't have a lot of support from kind of the people at her restaurant. So Shirley does, she kind of bribes Shirley, and Shirley does help her at this particular event. Um, this, this event is a little overwhelming for both of them. And so Fonzie kind of wants more kind of sort of saves the day a little bit and distracts. But anyway, at the end, we find out that Laverne is really just wants to do this to kind of help her to show her dad. Well, she's hoping that her dad will be proud of what she's done. And so at the end, her dad comes in. He just says he's proud of her anyway. So that's basically the episode in a nutshell. So you gotta have to tune in to see what the details are for both of those episodes.
Yeah, and we definitely hope that if you come into our videos that you watch with us as well. But Mom, I'll allow you to go straight into your top 10 list.
Alrighty. After watching these two episodes, we're able to figure out some things about Laverne and Shirley. First of all, we know that the girls work at Shot's Brewery. We find out that the girls have known each other for all of their lives, and they went to school together. We know that Laverne's father owns a bowling alley slash pizza parlor. We know that they live in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and Laverne wears the letter L on her clothes. And then we know that Laverne and Shirley do live together. We do learn that Laverne is currently dating Fonzie, so that goes on for a little bit. Um, we meet two of their friends, and that would be Lenny and Squiggy. And these are two friends that it looks like they turn to on a regular basis. We learn that Shirley has a quote unquote boyfriend at times named Carmen. And so there's not much detail about that. We just know that he's there at times. And then we know that out of the two of them, Shirley is the one who doesn't want to break the rules, whereas Laverne could be a little bit daring. And so those are 10 things that we learn after watching the first two episodes from Laverne and Shirley.
Well, Mom, thank you so much for your top 10 list.
You are welcome, Brandon.
Yeah, and in analyzing this a little bit further, so we are able to see that the characters of Laverne DeFazio and Shirley Feeney are introduced through their work at the Shots Brewery, and essentially like with their day-to-day interactions with that to start off both episodes. And so in one episode, it's finding out that they were invited to the society party. In another one, where we thought that they were going to be fired, but instead, we were just told that Laverne will be managing the restaurant while her father will be out for a funeral. And so, overall, that as a spin off series, that it uses the character of the Fonz, who's most known for Happy Days, as a way to basically welcomed them to the plot, so to speak. And so, as we've examined, a lot of first episodes that's based off a spin-off series do indeed have that sort of connection. But it's interesting that both of these episodes do have Fonzie in it, so I'm not sure where exactly the characters begin developing their own story outside of Happy Days. But nevertheless, though, this provides such a fun way to introduce us to these two characters, and Mom, I can't wait to get into our analysis.
Oh yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready too, Brandon. And so, what do we know about the show? Well, Brandon, I watched it. I partially while it was on and partially in reruns. And so I know we have gone back. You and I have seen quite a few episodes going back. I don't think we've seen them all. Have you seen them all, Brandon?
I have not seen them all, but I have seen quite a bit of episodes, but not representative of the whole series when it aired on the Hub Network TV channel back in 2010.
Oh wow. Yeah, so it has been a while since we've seen quite a few of these episodes. And so, like you said, going back, I will probably have to rewatch the series again, to be quite honest. Like I said, I remember watching it. There's certain episodes that stand out. But on a whole, I've always liked Laverne and Shirley. Are really, I've always really enjoyed watching the show. What are your thoughts, Brandon?
Oh yeah, I've always enjoyed Laverne and Shirley, and again, I probably haven't seen as much of Laverne and Shirley as I've seen of the show it spun out of, Happy Days. But
Mhm.
I will say too that I've always really enjoyed watching Laverne and Shirley, and throughout its 8 season run. Of course, when it aired in reruns in 2010. But yeah, I've really enjoyed the show, but I especially really like the theme song of the show, "Making Our Dreams Come True" by Cindy Greco.
Yeah, well, I love the theme song, Brandon, so I give it a 9.5. Absolutely love it. It's just an iconic theme song. People hear it, you know exactly where it's come from.
Yeah, I definitely really enjoyed the theme song. I think it's just such a great way to start off the show, and I mean I've even listened to, like I said, the full version of the song, outside of just the show as well. It's just, I think, just such a great song and very fitting for the show.
Yep, very, very fitting for the show. Yep. And then And then, Brandon, I know this kind of connects to some other shows that we've done.
Yeah, so most directly, it does connect to fellow Miller Milkus production, Mork and Mindy, which is also a spinoff of Happy Days. And so we do have the connection there, of course. All free series also created by Gary Marshall, legendary TV writer and creator. And we've also seen the characters of both uh, of both Laverne and Fonzie in the first episode of Mork and Mindy that we'd previously spoken about.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to look into Happy Days for one of these episodes, Brad.
Yes, we will, and as a little bit of an additional connection as well is the company Miller Milkus that produced the series. It later became Miller Boyette that produced shows such as Valerie that became the Hogan Family and quite a few other shows that we have watched, both personally and on this channel.
Yep. What's more, we seem to be connecting these shows together, Brad.
Yeah, we certainly are.
Yes. And would we watch this show again?
Of course. Of
Of
course, I
course,
would
yeah.
continue watching Laverne and Shirley. What world would I not? But yeah, I really enjoy, you know, Laverne and Shirley, and I definitely would actually want to watch the full series, from start to finish. I will say that one, yeah, again, 2010 was 2010, 2011 is really when I watched most of the episodes of the series, like when I did, and so obviously I was very young then, so I don't really remember a lot of the specifics of it, other than certain episodes I've seen numerous times over. But yeah, I would want to rewatch the series, or in some cases watch it some episodes for the first time, and and definitely go through it because I mean it's just such a enjoyable series, and so I love the physical comedy of the series as well.
Oh, yeah. Laverne and Shirley do play really well together. We'd love to hear what the audience thinks and whether or not you guys like Laverne and Shirley. Do you think it's kind of an iconic show? Let us know in the comments. And then what's more, let us know what other shows you kind of want us to view.
Definitely. And I will ask you, before we, end out this episode, Mom, is so since Fonzie was in both of these episodes, what were your thoughts about him being the connection between the two series? And both were set, of course, about 20 years prior to them, actually coming on. So the show was set in the 50s, even though it was made in the 70s.
Yeah, for Fonzie coming over, I thought it was very appropriate. They picked a star at that time period to come over. I was surprised. I mean, of course, Ron Howard was still a star during that time period, and if I remember correctly, he was still on Happy Days at that time. So I'm a little surprised they didn't have him come over for a little bit. But the fact that they just had one person come over, and then Fonzie was not the real reason, although he played a part in the particular episode. They did a really good job of just incorporating him in the episode, but it still showcases Laverne and Shirley. And so he didn't take over; he just was there to kind of bridge the gap between both shows.
Yeah, and out of curiosity, do you remember how long he, stayed on, at least semi-regular for, Laverne and Shirley? Because I do know that they crossed over quite a few times since they were both set in Milwaukee, but I don't personally know, how long he, stuck around on Laverne and Shirley when it initially started.
That one, Brandon, I don't know. So we'd have to look that up. I do not recall how long. I remember I think if I remember correctly, the Happy Grace Drew coming back, but I do not remember how many times Fonzie came over.
Well, I guess we'll have to keep tuning in to find out.
Yeah. If someone from our audience knows, let us know.
Yeah, well, Mom, I always love doing this, and I can't wait to see what we do next week.
Yep, same here, Brandon. I said, thank everyone for joining us today.
And we'll see you next time.
All right. Bye bye.